All right, we are back for another game. Saturday Pugs, 10-11. Right now we got Team A1 going in, which is Virus, Addicted, Rat, and Lucas, named Rusty. And we have Team A2, which is going to consist of Mao, Dark, Dirt, and Camper. So we're probably going to likely see something like a Camper Shredder with maybe a Dirt or a Mao, possibly Dark Wretch, and then the other two will obviously be Tall Boys. Over here on this side, we might see a Virus Doc, maybe Addicted Shotgun, Lucas sniping with a tasteful LMG. I think I could see some kind of setup going like that for them. They're going to go ahead and start spending points. Regular strat, this is Blazing Trails. This rotation, we've got Blazing Trails, Farther Afield, Cabins by the Lake. One room hold, technically two if you count this one if you decide to go in the bathrooms, but sometimes that can actually be a worse play, especially on round one when the Reekers are so powerful and cleaners don't have that many cards in their deck. Looks like they're just going to spend normal points here, I would assume. And we're going to have a Mao Tallboy. A Mao Tallboy with a Dark Wretch. I'm going to go ahead and probably say that Camper's going to play Shredder. It looks like he might just be trying to get up on that tree right now with the Hawker. And then Dirt might be their alternate Tallboy. This game, we're going to have Mao's POV for Team A2, and we're going to have Virus's POV for Team A1. Yeah, that looked like normal points went down, and we're at the end of Scavenge. Cleaner's going to have to be ready here. They are spread out and ready to go, I think. We do have a Virus Doc. That's his motorcycle skin. That definitely looks like a tasteful walker to me. Oh, there's a Barrett down there. And it looks like an M1A or a Phoenix also. And that other crate Sniper's going to have their pick of the litter. We do have a card open. Sounded like Mom opened a card at the top. Two defibs sitting in that middle crate is going to be a rough sight for Team A2 to look at. They just opened a box inside the bathroom, I think, as well. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the same intel crate. I'm pretty sure they have two cards open right now. Which is going to be great for Team A1. Somebody's going to be late here at parking lot. They're going to dive on this, sending in the Crusher first. Dirt's going in. Dark's going to puke with the Wretch for slow on the rest of the team. And Tasteful is going to fall prey to that Crusher. And he does not seem to have a taser. The entire team is up top. They have to nade that Tallboy, but the Crusher is still going on. He could be trauma capped at this point by the time they free him. That is an in cap. Dirt is still not dead. And he's finally going to go down right now, but they're going to have to start medic heals on him because he gets up at yellow health. He is probably likely, unless he drew durable, full traumaed from go. Tallboy is going to go in on that. He's going to start chasing after Walker. Walker's going to try to outrun him, turns his back now, starts shooting with that M249, does manage to tear it down. Camper goes in behind, gets a pullback on some of the survivors. That ends up actually splitting them again, but right now they don't have anyone to go in except for Dirt, who does manage to get in and gets the crush. That's a second down on Walker. No trauma applied, but now we got a crush on Mom, who is able to either, it looked like taser or something, but they're going to get Walker up. They're going to get a heal on him here again for the trauma, but he is still currently stuck in that yellow health. Nice burst sleep from Mao. He's going to get in. He's going to stay on the Walker, who is still trauma capped, and that Shredder Tentacle is going to down him again for, I think, a third time in a minute 16. They're going to need some kind of plan of attack here. They're also getting pushed by Swarm from the top. Spawn timers are longer, but Dirt managed to get a really good spawn behind the playground. That's a bruiser, too. It's going to take them a second to kill that, and they still have to get the res. Hey, at this point, they're just going to have to go ahead and better get it, yeah. They do get a heal on Walker, but they are hurt here. That double grenade is actually probably pretty smart because they're still going to get shredded here. And somebody else besides Walker is going to have to go down, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. It looks like he's going to end up going out of acid again here unless they put anything on him. If he had any meds, I might just be taking him myself at that point to avoid the down because that's going to be another one. Fourth down on Walker likely. Ah, they're getting him up, but this is going to be full dead right here. At 2 minutes on that Walker, they do nade, but this is a rough start for Team A1. Camper with a drop pull. Nice one. Gets about 3 of them covered in acid. Wretch keeps puking. They do throw a pipe bomb out. Give them a little bit less pressure from the common right now. But, oh, those two defenses in the middle they didn't know about. Now they do. Doc went ahead and got him. Doc goes ahead and nades that. And they are going to get a defib off here while somebody is in the hands of another Crusher. It does go down. Doc does get a heal on the walker, but the camper shredder goes right in. He gets stuck climbing the ladder, though. The wretch does get popped, too, and now Mom is down. That is great news for Team A1. Walker's going to live just off this inspiring alone. Does have a tall boy in his face. Goes ahead and nade it. And he does get the kill with the M249. They're going to be right back in this now. They have an extra defib still to spare. And now with Walker off the cycle, he can hopefully get a moment to rest. Crusher's still hard going after him. Wretch pukes on about good 3 or 4 of them, man. That's going to be a good quad pull by Camper, but man, oh man. For as crazy as it's been, they are being resilient right now. Walker is living mostly off temp health. He's getting even more trauma right now. That's going to be another full kill on him. He died not in a spot where there's acid, though, so they could defib here if they get back to it. But right now, that Doc is stuck in Swarm. First tall boy keeps him out. Second tall boy also keeps him out. Nice pull by Camper to get the down on Doc in the Swarm. They do get the defib off on Walker, though, who is now back up and firing. They're getting a lot of time here for having a full dead Walker at 2 minutes. That was at least 2 defibs used. They might not have any left. That could have been the last one. Dark's back up, getting a puke on the Survivor going for the res in the Swarm. That was Addicted Mom picking up the Doc. Dirt's going in, trying to keep him out. He is going to succeed. Going to get another down on V1rus. Camper's going to pull, get 2 in the Swarm. Everybody except for that Walker trying to cover them. Another pipe bomb goes out, and a flash. That flash could potentially save this here. Oh, the fucking tree stops the first hit by the tall boy. That's the only thing that kept Walker alive. Walker's going to go down to Swarm here anyway, though. Full die to acid. He is going to get the res before the Crusher gets in. Slightly misses. Crusher will get the crush now, though. Gets the in cap. Wretch is puking, charging. He is still right on that Carly. Tall boy's going in too, but it's a high crush. Does manage to tase it. That's Lucas running away, but everything's on him. He's not going to get much more, and that is going to be it at 4:21 for a game and a round that looked like it was going to be over pre-3 minutes. That is a very hard-fought 4 time, and honestly about the best time they could hope to expect there with a full dead Walker at 2:01. Phew. I've played in plenty of those rounds where the chaos starts early and it just never stops, but yet somehow we still find ourselves making it to 4 or sometimes even 5 minutes. That was 100% one of them. That should get a little less in round 2, as they showed resilience despite all that and still made 4:21, but will that 4:21 be enough to win here in round 1? We'll see. We go to Team A1 now. V1rus' POV. We're going to go in here. Already looks like they're getting pretty normalish points. I doubt they would change it up here. This map is pretty solid for just normal Reeker and tall boy point play. And that's what it looks to be. I'm watching V1rus' POV here. It looks like he's going to finish off the trauma, the health, and the offense for Reeker. Looks like we're going to have an addicted wretch. The rest are to be determined. Team A2 is going to go ahead and spread out, getting ready for the looting process as usual. Carly on the roof, Doc in the parking lot. Walker's going to come down and join them. Mom likely somewhere in the middle. Looks like we're going to have a lolucas shredder with that addicted wretch I mentioned, and it seems V1rus and Tasteful are going to take the tall boys. V1rus has on the Crusher already what he's known for. Getting some pretty choice crushes, and he's probably going to have to try to do that here. Same thing that they did to them. Intel. We do have a card box open for Team A1 and Team A2 in the bathroom as well. Same bathroom Team A1 got it in. Did they open a second one there? No, I think they're just looting the rest in there. They're going to go ahead and finish up down here. They're going to try to get to the top. They're going to be slightly a little late. Looks like Mom's got a Super 90. I don't see any AA-12s around. That's a good thing here for this Team A1 to hopefully help capitalize on this somewhat subpar time. Lucas is in his Crusher, already getting a good crush. V1rus actually takes the Shredder. If he does a drop pull here, he's slowly making his way to the roof, but that slow movement is going to cost him his life. He gets nothing there. Dirt fries him with that 249. They might have no AA-12s, but that 249 seems already to be pretty good. Looks to me like a camper dock on that side. Camper dock, dirt walker. I'm gonna have to see who else. Camper looks like probably a dark matter mom, and then a sniper Carly by Mao, or just a Carly in general by Mao, depending on what he feels like. Another down there on, or sorry, single first down there on camper. V1rus is going for a drop pull, but actually doesn't actually get the drop. That is a second down on camper now, though. They picked him up immediately. He got re-downed by that tall boy. Good focus by Tasteful to let them pick up that res and then just re-down him immediately. That's 2 lives knocked off of Doc at 1 minute. Lucas going to go in, not for the delay, but just for the damage. It looks like Doc's going to be their target. Lucas is going right for him. Addict's trying to keep that acid on him. Shredder's going to go in, but he's moving so slow. The down happens anyway due to the common and the acid. And V1rus is going to go ahead and actually get acid bugged. That acid coming in late, that was all from the wretch. He actually only got 1 little puddle. RIP your acid, buddy. Welcome to the club. Tall boys go in, Tasteful and Lucas. They are definitely hard targeting Doc at this point. Same thing they did to the Walker. Walker is currently the only one yellow. Let's see if they stay on the Doc still here, though. V1rus trying to get a spawn on top. He does. He needs to use that charge. He does use the charge now. Walker's in a reload, so he's going to get this pull, and that's going to be another down on Doc. Despite the heal, maybe, I think. He's got some spike damage on her. I think she's going to go down from that. No, she didn't. She just barely lived because of that heal. But I don't think it's going to matter because, yep, here come these tall boys, and they had their target in their sights. Lucas goes ahead and gets the knock on Doc. Tasteful goes ahead and plays Distraction. Addicted is going to keep on puking. They do pick him up right there. If they go straight back for him, which Tasteful does, gets the first hit. Now it's only 1 more to kill, but they do kill the tall boy in time. They save Doc with that kill on the tall boy. But for how long can they really save him if they keep picking on the Doc here? He's going to be very squishy round 1. Walker is about half health. The tall boys are still going, chasing Doc down. Doc is now caught up with the Ripper. Still green health, though. Doc goes ahead and throws a nade. Now the tall boys are together. They might nade this too. They do. The nade does not kill the first regular tall boy, though. Only the Ripper, so he gets another swing. And now they're going to go bathrooms. They're going to maybe actually try to hold in here since Camper's on last life. V1rus going to go ahead and get a drop pull. Gets about 3 of them to the doorway. A little bit of acid, but not a whole lot. And that wretch tries to get a puke in there. Not a whole lot reaching the back, though. They might hopefully want to consider discharging with the wretch here, too. Tasteful goes in, tries to get a swing, but they just melt him. That Bruiser does manage to get an AoE, though. Good damage, but it's Carly that goes down. Doc's not going to be on the cycle anymore, and with only a minute to go, they're going to need a lot of damage to make it happen. V1rus does a drop, misses the entryway, though. Ends up stuck on top of that wall and gets melted as well. Tall boy's going back in. Bruiser first, gets 1 hit. Same with the tall boy, gets 1 hit, almost got a second, but then they melt him. Addicted's puking in, getting what she can, but Mao's trying to look out and get a pop on it if possible, or maybe even go down. It looks like he's just trying to take some damage, so that way it's not Doc. Although at this point, with 30 seconds left, the Shredder does manage to pull him slightly out. He's probably going to go down to this, but calming down Mao. They're actually all in here together with the Shredder alive and the bowling ball of the wretch. This is a lot of acid. Only one alive, though, is Dark right now, who does manage to get the res, but he's immediately back down in acid. Teammate 2 is going to have to go fast, but they do manage to get a Bruiser in there. Now they're going to have 2 tall boys in here, but oh, Dark does manage to get the res. There's only 3 alive. It's going to be 7 seconds. They need more damage than that. I'm not sure he can go Hawker here because he needs damage and not just incapacitation, but nope, they're going to slightly get it. Oh, that ending was close. Those bathrooms, round 1. Sometimes, as long as you keep the Reekers from entering, they can be the play, but if you do not have the sheer stopping power to keep them from getting in the bathroom, it is certainly not the play on round 1, because as soon as everyone's in that acid, you're still squishy with only, 5, 6, possibly 7 at the most cards round 1, and a lot of a sudden you see multiple downs. Mao is right there. That is beautiful content. That had me excited for a second. My blood pressure's up just watching that. Probably the smart move by that Dirt Walker there to go ahead and go outside. I know that they wanted to get the reses, but after Camper full died, Dark did his best. He got multiple revives in that acid, and thank God he did, because otherwise it probably would have been over. Round 2, we do end up getting cabins by the lake, leaving a possible farther afield for round 3, should it go there. I think anything's open in this one. After that round 1 being as close as it was, I think there's the possibility for either of these teams to go ahead and take it down here. It could even end up coming down to who gets the better circle, who gets to stay in the cabin longer, that kind of thing. Points look to be pretty normal right now. They've got 2-2-2 on common, just debating about what they want to do from here on out. They have went ahead and got Reeker defense, though, so they're not going to be able to get monsters if they wanted to go that way. Not always the greatest on a room hold anyway, but we'll see what they do with their points after this. They'll probably go ahead and still get Tallboy offense for that 30% extra damage that they probably don't want to miss out on. Then they would have their choices between Reeker defense, getting a couple Tallboy utility things that are past stun resistance, and or an extra common, which they do opt to go for. That Blighted is never a bad choice on a room hold, in my opinion, because any common that gets in there that's a Blighted, when they explode, that's even more acid within that room, leaving less room for the survivors to move around in. Looks like they might be considering something else, though. I think they're realizing here they don't have enough points to get any of the 4th level common. They shouldn't have enough points for that that Festering. Unless they skipped stun resist, but nah, I don't think they did anyway, because that one, yeah, that was a 200 point, and that was a 50, so, yep. Not quite enough, but they got Blighted, and they got Temp Defense for Reekers, which, on this level, is probably the play. Alright, Survivors are going to be just slightly late, but it's not going to matter. Ridden weren't ready to pounce, and even if they had been, it wasn't late enough that I think would have caused a problem. Tallboys are going to go ahead and lead the way for the Shredder here, still watching a V1rus Shredder. He does manage to attempt to pull, gets one from the side room, but that's about it. Then they pop him. That Mao Sniper Carly's got a Barrett here, which on this map can be extremely devastating. He's already trying to look behind and pop that wretch. Although you actually can't pin that wall there, surprisingly. It's a weird one. For some reason, that single wall in this cabin is non-pinnable. Dirt still with the 249. I'm not sure whether it's the green one still or a blue one, but either way, that thing's going to be a weapon here in round 2 with extra damage cards. Camper's reloading what looks to be, sounds like some kind of SCAR, some kind of AK, some kind of assault rifle, something. And Mom still with the Super 90. No AA-12s, though. On a closer quarters map, that's a little bit rougher, but just have to see how they play that. They're going to have chunk damage from the Barrett, and of course the M249 covering, but always nice to get an AA-12. Wretch just keeps on puking as the Tallboys go in with their Shredder and attempt to get what they can. Not much damage so far, though, for a minute 15. Can't see how their swarm's looking just yet, but oh, it's coming in fast. They're going to lose the house here. They're going to lose the house wave 1. That's going to be rough for them, but we got a Crusher on the Walker right now. Takes him a second to clear it. Walker is yellow health. Oh, he's going to go in. He's going to get this pull here. He's going to get some good acid, and with Wretch going in here too, this is going to be bad, seeing that it's in Swarm. Wretch explodes late, is not able to push any of the cleaners forward, but they're going to have likely another down on Carly here as they leave. Oh, no. Okay, either Doc or Carly hit themselves with a med, and now they're going to go after this Walker and might have another down, which they do. That Paceful Tallboy getting in there, getting that down on Walker right before the wave starts. If they can keep them off this here, this could actually be bad. So far, that Lucas Ripper has gone in. Everyone's gone in, unfortunately, though. They need to stagger a little bit better. But they're going to have common here. A barrel sitting right next to the Mom and the Doc. No one's shooting it, though. The Shredder's going to get massive value. Now they shoot it, but ends up actually taking some friendly fire from that barrel. We have a Stalker in here. I think he went for the body, but unfortunately, something killed him. I wasn't even sure what it was. It looks like Dirt might have got him with the 249, but he went in there, tried to grab it, tried to make the sneaky Stalker play while he was down, but was just a little bit short. 2 survivors on the roof, 2 survivors down. V1rus is going to hobble in as this Shredder. He's got to use that. He's got to use the charge more here. They're seeing him. He's actually going so slow that they're just getting free shots off on him. Almost manages to get the pull, but they do pop him right before he can. Does manage to get some acid on that down, though. Tallboys and Wretch go in. That's going to delay this res a little further. So is that Tallboy hit. Although that Mom might have been resing the Doc and Ante right there. It almost might have been better just to let her do it. She's definitely out of Ante now. Tallboy's still getting hits. V1rus is going in, trying to get a pull to get somebody out of the cabin. Manages to get Dirt on the side, who is also still hurt. Also halfway trauma capped. He's going to go down to this acid here. And he is just slightly outside the cabin. Still have a hurt mom inside too, the red, who if she walks through this acid common trying to get that res could be bad. Doc does make it out, gets the res on Walker. They do get back inside this cabin now, but they're all still relatively hurt. Going to be an interesting next attack here. I think this next 2 attacks with this wave might decide it. Lucas leads the way with that Ripper. They go ahead and nade it. They end up inadvertently hitting the tall boy on the outside too. The wretch goes in, does manage to die. V1rus gets a pull to the window, but not quite out. That Barrett shot popping the shredder through the walls of the cabin. Got to be mindful of that. That's why as any kind of class, you can never slow down. Tall boys do get in. Another down on Doc. They are going to go ahead and get a res here, though. No one's up to stop it. Lots of common in, taking hits on that sniper Carly, who actually appears now to have a scar. Maybe he's running 2 as 1, or ran out of ammo. I can't quite tell. Shredder's going to make it in here and get a pull with the Carly going down. Bruiser AoE is going to come in, do a lot of damage, including those tall boy hits, and they're all backed into a corner in the closet. But they are going to go ahead and clear that, and now Walker begins the revive on Doc, who is still hurt. Addicted gets a puke in there, but she might just want to go ahead and charge on this. They're all relatively still hurt. V1rus is going to go for the pull here, maybe get one out this time. Nope. Unfortunately, either they were out of reach or that wretch just slightly bonked them away. They are going for this res here now, though. Just got to get in with that swarm. There we go. That AoE hit from the Bruiser, but they do nade it, and that ends up killing the Shredder. There's a lot of acid there, but they're going to reach 5 minutes here and slightly be pushed out of the cabin. They are going to have to come out. This is going to be a full dead on Doc at 5:03, but they need to wrap these other survivors up, and they need to do it quick. They are defibbing, too, so we are looking at quite some time here. If they don't wrap this up soon, it's going to be a 5:30 time, no doubt. V1rus does manage to get the pull. Dirt does go down to the incapacitation in the swarm. V1rus does manage to get out there and start scratches on Mom. He gets a second pull. That's going to be helpful. And now I think it's just Carly up. No, it's not. Doc is running for that revive. Does manage to get it with the defib. Somebody's gone Hawker now just to try to stop this chaos, but they do reach that 5:31 time point, which is going to be tough if they don't get a good circle on this map. They had a couple opportunities where they might have been able to capitalize if they just had somebody up or been a little faster on some things. Other team, give them credit too, though. They got pushed out of the cabin. That Team A2 got pushed out of the cabin after Wave 1 and managed to go hold that other cabin pretty damn well. We're going to go over to Team A2 now and watch their ridden side and see if they can go ahead and close this out. Mao hitting me with the BM over here on the team chat too, so only I can see. Giving me the up arrows just to make sure I seen it. And Team A2 is going to go ahead and spin their points. Mao's already done. I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're probably just going to go normal points on this with the possibility of getting monstrous. They do have a 5:31 time, so anything really is open here. Anything that they feel could be more helpful to them to go ahead and close this out because they've given themselves a solid time on the cleaner side to do that. Looks like they might be looking to opt for Blighted here as well, instead of the Monstrous play. Or in Slow. I think they're debating between Blighted and Slow. They do end up going Blighted. And it looks like they might actually be getting another common here too. They might opt out of taking the extra Reeker defense since it's a room hold and possibly getting another common to throw at them as well. Now they're talking about the Reeker defense, though. It's what do they want more? And it looks like they decided to go with the commons. So they're going to go ahead and get runners here. Their commons are going to be faster. There's going to be 10 more per wave. If they get pushed out of the cabin and or they struggle with common and common clearing, that could be effective. Team A1's going ahead and looting. Not as many people spread out at the bottom, but then again, it is halfway through Scavenge now. They might have started there, and I just missed it. They do have an AA-12 I can see in the hands of Mom. I think Walker just picked up the LMG. Pretty sure that's what he was going for. They are going to make the cabin in time. They're not going to be late here. No ability to act on that for these ridden, so now they're just going to go in like normal. Tall boys are going to pave the way. Bruiser goes in first. Camper does manage to get in, gets a triple pull. Actually, quad pull, and then the tall boy manages to actually act on that and hit one right outside the front door. Walker runs right back in, though. Dark's just puking, getting as much acid in there as possible. Doc's going to go ahead and heal herself here. She's got an axe as a secondary. This might be a melee Doc from V1rus, and it looks like it is. He's just going to go ahead and, looks like, watch this back door. All that common and all that acid does manage to get a tasteful Walker down, though. That Lucas Ripper delayed for a second, but now there's this tall boy in, and that V1rus Doc, they had to just nade it as V1rus Doc almost goes down to the tall boy. Only thing you can't forget about when you're meleeing like that is that you're also Doc and you got to go do this stuff. He did just decide to wait there because he just got antied. So now he's going to go ahead and get the res out of anti. Probably should go ahead and get a heal on Walker, but he's actually going to end up just going down. That's going to heal Walker regardless. So now he is on the ground with an axe. If this tall boy gets close, he's going to get chopped up, and he does. Dark still just puking from his vantage point on the bathroom shower house shed over there. They do manage to get a pop on him, though. Lucas sticks his head out the window for a second and gets a pop with that sniper. Reeker and Tallboy alive here. Shredder's going to go ahead and go in solo, trying to get some solo value. And he almost manages to get it, but they pop him right before he does. Tallboy cannot even get a swing there either. Tasteful just frying him with that LMG. He did catch that window again. Mao's been doing that a lot lately. Mao and windows, they don't go together. Dirt goes over to Hawker for a quick second, trying to catch somebody in swarm or possibly for a hawk block, but they do end up moving out. Team A1 has also lost the top of the cabin, just like Team A2 did after Wave 1. But unfortunately, their circle looks to be a little bit worse so far already. There's a little bit more of their, the room in that downward southern part of the map where all that water is. If it pushes them there for a final circle, that is going to be really tough to get 531 on. Dirt goes ahead and goes into the bruiser here, getting some AoE value. Would have had a knock on the Doc if she didn't heal herself, but still lots of reds, lots of trauma, lots of hurt in there. In fact, we have a double down. That's a down on both Carly and Walker, which is bad. A pipe bomb does go out, trying to quell some of these common. The melee Doc does manage to melee down that tall boy, but she is also hurt. Everything's dead, or that could have been problematic. They do manage to get one res here, 2 reses, and the medic does go down again. Camper's going straight in, trying to keep pressure on it. He does get the pull, and he's going to re-down Doc here with help from the tall boys. Lots of acid going in that room from Camper, and Walker is hurt too. Not only is he hurt, but he's traumatized. He's going to go down too. And this is not looking good right now. These two have got to get a hold of this, and they've got to start spreading out. Their circle is not doing them any favors. They are getting pushed towards that water like I thought they might. Their circle is not doing them any favors. Immediate res and an immediate re-knock by the tall boy here is going to make this really tough. And a res and acid. They do get the heal off, though, right as the bruiser comes in. Somebody manages to get the taser on the bruiser, stops him from being able to AoE with impunity. And Dark's here to immediately start with a wretch puke. It seems that they are targeting Walker now, who is still yellow. I'm not sure how many incaps he's taken. I don't know if this is his last life or one from it, but he can't be far off. Shredder does get nothing there. They manage to kill it and pop it before he gets in. But if somebody else doesn't go down for this Walker, this could be bad. In fact, it is. Dark manages to get the pop on Walker. Not the pop, but the bonk. And full dead. They are defibbing, which they do, but this wretch is still alive, and it's just going to re-kill him. They do manage to go ahead and kill the bruiser, take out the Shredder there. They do manage to get another defib on Walker, but if nobody else goes down, he's just going to re-die again. And it doesn't seem like they have meds. This tall boy hit's going to do it. No, it doesn't quite reach the Walker. In fact, it downs the Doc. But they're also in a really bad spot here with this water. The only thing they've got going for them is the Shredder can't get immediately in, but he does anyway. Ends up pulling them in together next to the swarm, and that is another full dead now. 2 full deads, actually, on the Doc and the Walker. This is going to be it here. With that down on Mom, there's no way Lucas can manage to get that 30-some more seconds they would need. Nice burst leap by Mao at the end to get in there and put the last hit on the Carly. Oof. Round 1, super close. This round, a little bit more off. Partially in help, partially due to the fact that the circle was a little bit rougher for that Team A1. Getting pushed down to that water is never fun. But there were some chances there. Maybe they keep some people up a little bit longer earlier on, and who knows. Good game, though.